Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite ways to prepare wild game. You can do this with beef or pork as well, but today we're going to be using bear in honor of the bear season, which is only 2 days away. We're going to be making birria bear tacos. Now this isn't the 100% authentic way, but it's a little bit dumbed down version and it'll make any wild game taste very good. Let's get into it. Alright, so what you'll need for vegetables, 2 onions, a couple tomatoes, a clove of garlic, red bell pepper, jalapenos, bay leaves, and some adobo peppers. Right here I am just going to cut up those jalapenos, take out the seeds and the spines, and then I will do the same with that red bell pepper. I am going to cut up those bigger tomatoes into smaller chunks and then throw those cherry tomatoes in. I put 2 full tomatoes in, 2 bigger sized ones I should say, and then I'm going to quarter up those onions and put 2 full onions in there as well. Next I'm going to mince up some garlic. You can put about 4 or 5 of those in there, more if you like. It's not gonna make it worse, I'll tell you that. I put those adobo peppers in and the bay leaves, and now we're gonna just fill up that pot. Not an exact measurement, but just enough so you know the meat will be covered. Then we're gonna add a generous amount of salt, some paprika, and some ground black pepper. Also a little liquid smoke, that's just my preference, definitely not needed, and a stick of butter. Give that a stir and then turn your heat on. Once you kind of have a little bit of a simmer going, try that liquid and see how the saltiness level is. Add some more before you put the meat in if you don't think it's salty enough. For the meat, we are going to be using a bear rump roast, so this one was a little bit frozen, but it doesn't really matter too much. You can throw it in there because of our cook time. Just cube it up, make it a little bit easier to work with and fit in there. Now that our liquid is at a good rolling boil, throw that meat in there. We can cover that back up and then turn the heat down to about a 4. Now most of the time I will usually cook the meat for close to 3 hours on the first heat, which is like somewhere between 3 to 4, and then towards the end I'll crank it up and get a more intense boil going, and then that really tenderizes the meat. You can see right now that it's pretty firm, but once you turn that up, it'll really tenderize it and get it how we want. Okay, it's been about another hour on the same heat. We're gonna pull a piece out and see how tender it is. It's pretty tender. Not quite where we want it to be, but that's about the time that we want to turn that heat up and do a little bit more intense boil. So we're gonna go about 6 on the dial. See, that meat is cooked through. We got those juices all combined. Everything's nice and soft. Should only be about 20 more minutes, and then we're gonna take out all the contents and blend it up. Shred up the meat and then combine it back together, and then we're gonna take it out to the Blackstone to assemble everything and get them nice and crispy. It's been about half an hour or so. The meat should be nice and tender. Right now what I'm going to do is pour all the juice into this bowl with the strainer, and then that way I can separate all the vegetables and meat. Alright, should be most of it. So now we got our vegetables separated from the meat. You can see all that goodness. We're gonna blend that up with some of the juice from there, and that's gonna kind of make like a dipping sauce, or consomme as people like to call it. Whew. Yep, so we're gonna put a little bit in here just for added flavor. Yep, and then we're gonna put some more of this juice in here just to kind of have a concentrate. Mix this up, and then we're actually going to put a little bit more of this liquid and then keep that on the stove until everything is ready to go outside, just to soak up even more flavor. Might even put a little bit more salt in there just because we lost a lot of it in our liquid. Now we're gonna just pour this back in there. It's gonna kind of be our flavor, our sauce. Our shell's gonna be dipped in that and then cooked down. It's gonna add a really nice flavor. We're gonna add some cilantro in here and some fresh onions. Stir that up. All right, we just got the Blackstone fired up. You can see we got our bear meat here, really shredded down nicely, and it's full of all that vegetable and consomme stuff, lots of flavor there. We have our sauce kind of thing that we'll be dipping our shells in. Shells, cheese, onion, cilantro, all ready to go. We'll get a couple going here. See what we can do. I'm gonna do 2 shells at a time, just like that. Kind of dip them in there. Get them nice and coated. Throw them down. And I'm gonna get some cheese. Nice coating of cheese there. And then we're gonna come in with our bear meat. You don't need a whole lot. You want to be able to fold it. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip that over, and we're gonna let that cook down on that side. So we'll take this one over here. So we got our taco, we got our cheese melted down. That is steaming hot. So what you do, spread that open. Put some onions in there, some fresh onions. A little cilantro. Close her back up. There we go. Get a dip in our consomme. A little messy, but by far one of the best ways to make wild game. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we have another bear video posted soon.